Hello, I'm Chris Plum, head coach and CEO of Carmel Swim Club, and I am your host today of the Off the Deck podcast. Off the Deck champions Carmel Swim Club's mission, teaching excellence through swimming for life. To more fully meet this mission, we are constructing a new pool, the Carmel Swim Academy, to increase the scope and reach of our community-based programming, including swim lessons and master swimming, and improve the learning environment for all of the Carmel Swim Club swimmers. We know this will save lives. We are proud to be part of this exciting project, breaking ground May 5th. To learn more, visit www.carmelswimacademy.org. Now let's get on with the show. Today, our guest is Chad Onken. Chad Onken is the co-head coach of Quest Swimming Program in his hometown of Midlothian, Virginia. I'm sure he'll correct me on that. He started with Quest on January 1st, 2019. He's coached some great swimmers, including the gold medalist, Cullen Jones. He has over 20 years of championship coaching experience, including age group high school YMCA, and NCAA championship swimming. He is a level five certified coach and the 6-time recipient of the ASCA Award for Coaching Excellence. But before we get to Chad, I'm going to tell you and talk to you about I don't know if it's right. I just know it works. And today I want to talk about relationships, not rules. One of our founding things we believe in Carmel is valuing the relationship over rules. On our teams, we have rules. Obviously, you need rules, but just putting a lot more stock in valuing the relationship with people. Relationships will take you way farther than any rules will. And we know that rules are, yes, meant to be broken. And relationships are meant to be developed. So I think you just remember your favorite coach or teacher. You don't remember them because of all the things that they knew or the rules that they had in their classroom or on the basketball court or the soccer field. We remember them because of who they were and how they valued us as people and the things that they taught us. So I think just that when you go about your day and you're working with people, just value those relationships. And I think our guest today, he just came out with a blog. So we're going to introduce Chad. Chad, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Chris, thank you so much for having me. This is a treat, and obviously I have so much respect for the Carmel swim team and everything that goes on there in Carmel, and huge fan and lucky enough to call you one of my best friends as well. So thank you, Chris.
Yeah, well, it's good to have friends on here, and I know this is going to be a wonderful talk because you just came out with a blog on relationships. So, Chad, why don't you tell us what inspired you to write this, and where did this come from for you?
Yeah, so a good friend has started a blog, and she's asked coaches to add content to this blog, and she was it's really impressive. She said, "Hey, give me a blog. You can't write about swimming technique, dry land training, or anything that's quote unquote a skill. It needs to be something."
Come on.
Exactly. So I had to really think about it, and I had a birthday last week, which Chris, thank you for the call. I appreciate that.
Yeah, 29. Correct.
Yeah, exactly. But I had a birthday, and it really got me thinking just about how blessed I am, and the friendships and the relationships and the people, not just the coaches, the parents, the staff, and whether it's club, college, whatever. I've just been really blessed that, just like you, Chris, majority of my groomsmen in my wedding were all swimming related people that I had met through the sport. So it got me thinking, and it made me want to talk about the coach-athlete relationship in particular. So 20 years in this, I've had a ton of really amazing athletes I've gotten to work with, and so it's just kind of a reflection on that, giving my 2 cents on things that coaches I think need to focus on. I wrote down, I love relationships over rules. I think that's if I were to add another little tidbit, in my blog, that'd be it. But I think when you boil down to it, I think swimming, coaching, athletics, and success in athletics are relationships. I think, like you said, times. I don't remember any of my times, Chris. I know you don't remember a lot of your times. Places. Sometimes you remember, whether it was a final heat or something like that. Points. I couldn't tell you how many points I scored at meets, but I can totally remember what I did on that Saturday before the Florida State football game with 20 of my best friends on that Saturday before the Florida game, or I can totally remember that bus ride that we took from Tallahassee to Coral Gables for the Miami meet. So relationships and the experiences, that's what it's all about for me.
Yeah, and don't you think during like this pandemic and with all the things we've had to do as coaches, I think part of this is you really miss the relationships you've been able to develop outside, the pool on having meals with your swimmers at away meets, and like we used to shake hands after practice, and now we don't get to do that. So do you think it's what perspective does that bring for you through this pandemic?
It's different. Yeah, I think, I remember when you and I first met 10 years ago, we talked about the handshake or the fist bump and how important that was. And obviously we've stopped doing that. I'm getting ready to go down to Florida, the ISCA championships next week. And we're going with 22 athletes, and it's not a team travel trip. They're on their own with their parents. So they'll eat alone with their parents. They'll stay in a different hotel than I'll stay in. No bus rides or van rides to and from the pool. It's going to be really different. So, but yeah, I think finding new ways to connect, finding new ways to show you care, finding new ways to have that engagement, I think is really important. And it's, to be honest, it's been a real test and something that I'm still learning and working on. But it's huge. It's important that, especially during this pandemic, that we're focusing on that for sure.
Yeah. Well, to switch gears here a little bit, why don't you tell us about your first or introduction to water? Like, what was that for you?
That's a great story. So my hometown is Midlothian, Virginia.
Did I say that? I'm sure I said that wrong, right?
It's all good. It's all good. We're about 15 miles south of Richmond, suburbs. Love it here. The big reason I'll speak to this real fast. When I had this opportunity to come back home, my wife and I are both from here, and it was a no-brainer for us in the sense that we both said if we can provide our children with 1/100th the childhood that we had, then this is a no-brainer. Like, what's stopping us? Let's go. But yeah, we had moved here from another part of Virginia, and lived in Midlothian. And I want to say the moving trucks had just left. We were getting situated. I'm 4 years old, and man by the name of Joe Bradford was walking. This neighborhood is huge now, Queens Mill, but at the time you could walk around it, and he was going door to door, knocking on people's doors, telling them about we were going to start a summer swim team. No swimming background, parents, no swimming background, competitive swimming background, and it was the first thing that kind of came in to our new lives in Queens Mill. My parents said, "Yeah, we'll sign both." I have an older sister, and signed us both up, and I loved it. I just loved the idea of swimming. It was so much fun. I ended up turning 5, and Joe actually got a job with then it's called Briarwood, which was a year-round swim team. And I remember the conversation he had with my parents and I, hey, we're starting this, not starting, but I'm starting with this year-round swim team. Chad should come, and tried out, loved it, started doing it. And that team actually turned into Poseidon, which we all know has been a powerhouse in Virginia for a while. And swam there from the time I was 5, 6 until graduated high school and went off to college at Florida State University. So have a lot of great, again, memories, relationships. The pool's been a pretty special place for me.
Yeah. And, I think you touched on it. You moved back to Virginia for your young daughters. And it's a remarkable story. I think we see it again and again with parents. So why don't you tell us about these beautiful young children that you have and how that came about?
So we have 2 7-year-old little girls, Marilyn and Charlotte, and they are, obviously they're extremely important. They're the love of my life. They're just getting into swimming. I missed their swim lesson last Saturday, but one daughter, Charlotte, we were at the pool the next day, and she goes, Daddy, watch. And she did 3 butterfly strokes, and I about lost it. It was unbelievable. So they're coming along really nicely. But yeah, my wife and I got married in 2008, right before Omaha Olympic Trials, and we found out pretty quickly into trying to have children that long story short, things just weren't going to work out for us. Some medical issues, a lot of different procedures, and it was a real trying time. We had our fair share of losses and lows throughout that process. We went and decided we tried IVF, we tried all the different ways. And again, either, more losses, more false positives, more, things that just weren't happening for us. So we ended up trying with a surrogate, and the surrogate basically, as I like to say it, they take the cake batter, put it in the oven, and someone else cooks the cake. And had some lows there, had some peaks, some valleys there. Wasn't all good news. Kept on trying, and ended up where the doctor said, all right, you've got twins. And we said, great, awesome. And around the same time, met a YMCA of the Triangle area, Yoda swim team parent who runs an adoption agency. And she was, no one really knew about our struggles. And I confided in her one day, like, yeah, I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to be a good husband in this situation. I don't know how to support my wife the best. And she said, well, first of all, here's some insight. And number 2, just tell me what you want. I own an adoption agency that can help you. So going back to the surrogate, we actually lost. We were told we lost both children early on in the pregnancy. So we're heartbroken. So then I go back to the adoption lady and I said, listen, whatever you can find, we're interested in a healthy child, but we'll take it. And she goes, well, I actually have this situation, blah, blah, blah. And so we said, fine, we're in, let's do it. And 2 weeks later, we go back with our surrogate and find out actually one baby's still alive. And she was able to take that child to term. So long story short, we have 2 children. They are 4 months apart. One is through adoption, one is through surrogacy. We love them both unbelievably. They're sisters and they're best friends. And it's just funny how this whole thing is kind of worked out. When we're at our lowest point, we had such dark days. and we couldn't be more blessed now. So it's a testament to how things always work out.
Yeah, Chad. I mean, it always, brings a little bit of a tear to my eye thinking about your story and just how you light up every single time we talk about your girls and what they mean to you. And do you think, how has it changed for you as a coach having children of your own? And I imagine their personalities are even different too. So that probably helps you with your perspective, right?
That's the biggest understatement ever. So yeah, I think I think I now have a much better idea of coaching in a way that I would want my children to be coached. That's a big deal. Certainly, I think being demanding is extremely important. Setting a standard in your program. But the word I like demanding, I don't like demeaning. And you can be demanding without bullying or blaming or treating athletes in a way that you wouldn't want your own children to be treated. So it's definitely provided perspective. It's been something where I've thought about I think my parenting skills are better because of my coaching. I think my coaching is better because of my parenting skills. So it's they've definitely rubbed off on one another. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just struggling with the weekends, the nights, the early mornings, where you'd love to be a dad, but you gotta do the coaching. And but it's one that I feel a lot better about now. I've been more observant of that, and I've gotten a better handle and control of that for sure.
Yeah.
Hi, friends. I'm Jason Reese with Wagner Reese Law Firm. We are a personal injury medical malpractice firm located right here in Carmel, Indiana, with a statewide practice helping people. And we're also proud supporters of the Carmel Swim Club, an organization located right here in our own backyard of Carmel, but also we're supporting because we believe in the impact the club is having. Not just teaching students and kids how to swim, but also about commitment to excellence, teamwork, being coached, and also to support the coaches and all the leadership of the swim club. So thank you from your friends at Wagner Reese. We support you again in 2021.
And, you have the unique perspective too, I feel like, of the coaches out there. You've coached so many different levels of swimming, right? You've coached age group, you've coached high school, you've coached at the Y, you've coached the NCAA, you've coached Solomon Jones. What do you think are the commonalities, would you say, across all those domains, Chad?
It's a great question. And I've never claimed to be the smartest guy in any room. And I think I kind of think pretty simplistic with this. It's swimming. Ultimately the bottom line is you're trying to get from one end of the pool to the other and back, maybe doing that several times, but you're trying to do that as fast as you can. So I think that's number one. It's trying to make it as simple as possible. And number two, I hate to harp on it again, but whether I'm coaching, age groupers, senior athletes, college athletes, relationships and the positive relationship and the common ground kind of between the athlete and the coach has always been important to me. So I kind of felt like, and then I guess third would be, I've always coached the person over the athlete.
Right.
I think just because I've met a lot of swimmers that are amazing athletes that have finaled and won medals and done some really amazing things that I hope my daughters don't grow up to date someone like. And I've met some athletes that have not had any success on a state or even regional level that, that's the kind of kid that I would love my daughters to be like, or my daughters to date or something like that. So yeah, I think the person over the athlete is very important as well.
Yeah. And obviously you've, like I said, been with a lot of programs and all that. Who are some of your coaching mentors, and maybe can you give us one or two things you learned from them or took away from them?
That's a great question. I think boils down to two main ones. Dudley Duncan was my coach growing up at Poseidon from the time I was 13 till I graduated high school. And he is actually the owner of Quest. He's the one that I came home to help him get off the deck and transition into retirement. And what I love about Dudley is actually the fact that he and I can talk so much about other things than swimming. You know, we try and meet once a week, and I think we're very very deliberate in talking about current events or life or things that aren't swimming related. With that being said, he's also helped so much in my swimming career, both as an athlete and as a coach. And, there are some things that I really admire and love about Dudley as a coach. Relationships are a big deal again. And the fact that someone that coached me 20 plus years ago is still such an important figure in my life. That's a big deal. Second one I would say is David Marsh. I spent about almost 2 years at Auburn, and they were very impactful years with regard to my coaching. Seeing someone who is so unbelievable at helping an athlete go from point A to point B, recruiting, being someone that said, okay, hey, do this, and then was able to step back and watch you do that. And then when it was done, say, okay, well, what about this? Or what about that? And thinking outside the box. I mean, he's a genius. And again, I'm really fortunate to still have that relationship with him. He and I spoke just 2 days ago. But love those guys. And then I would say lastly, I look up to my peers, and I also am able to call them my peers. But the inner circle, Chris, about the inner circle. We got some great guys that we talk about life. We talk about swimming. We talk a little bit about everything. But I would say there's a good 6 to 8 coaches that they might be older, they might be similar age to me, but they're definitely peers that I rely on heavily for continued interaction, bouncing off ideas, things like that.
Yeah, and what I found, talking with you guys and other coaches is like we're all experiencing very similar things, but we don't even know what's happening. And then when we bring it up, we're like, oh my gosh, you too. And I think there's I don't know what effect that is on me as a coach, but it helps me like, okay, I'm not the only one. How do you feel about that? Do you find that similar experience?
So, yeah, I think, it sounds so cheesy. And I remember when we entered this pandemic, hearing this and going, God, that's so cheesy, but we're all in this together.
Right.
We are. And again, even when it comes out of my mouth, I cringe. I'm like, that's the cheesiest thing I've ever heard.
Spewing from your mouth right now.
Yeah. But it's true. I think there's so much to learn from other coaches, other athletes, other programs, just in how things are going now and how people are dealing with the situation and everything. I mean, everything. So yeah, I think making decisions for yourself is very important, but getting information from others to make that decision is huge.
Yeah. And we make decisions every day for the benefit of our communities and the people on our team. What do you think you admire most about the youth or our athletes today that, is maybe different from us when we were growing up?
Wow. That's a great question. I think our youth, I think they're very, in my opinion, I think they're really good at
I
being
have
well.
afterwards. This is a first.
No, I think they're good at being well-rounded. I think
Yeah.
they, I think, when I think back to my teenage years, for me, I was swimming and soccer, and I stopped soccer. Swimming was it, and I think whether it's deliberate or not, I think we have student athletes that they're so involved in their academics, their other activities, their church, their swimming. Sometimes it might be to a detriment. I get that, where there's only 24 hours in a day, and they're trying to cram 28 hours worth of activities in there.
Yeah.
But I really am amazed at. We have athletes in our top group that are amazing violinists and pianists, and have all these amazing skills, and it's I'm jealous, very jealous.
Yeah, no, that's good insight, Chad. I think I think there's so much information for them, and the ability to learn today, I think, is a lot easier, and these kids are embracing it, and I love that. And they have so much perspective too. So much of the world is in front of them. So I agree. I'm amazed, and I think that's what makes coaching so fun. Is you come in and someone's like, "Yeah, I just performed in front of 5,000 people today."
Right. Right.
Blown away. So, and I got my trial cut. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
it's incredible.
All right. So you ready for the our fast finisher here, Chad?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. So, who would you like to do a social kick with? Anyone in history, today, past, present?
I'll be quick. 10-year-old me has got to say Matt Biondi.
Matt
Huge
Biondi?
fan. I would say Matt Biondi for sure. Just always been a huge fan, and he's actually one of those. You and I are very lucky to go to meets and get to meet a bunch of people. And he's one that I haven't gotten to meet yet. So I would love Matt Biondi. Yes.
Yeah. Just a quick side note. There was a story I read about Matt. Apparently, I think in the 100 fly, he got second to Nesty. So right.
88.
And the reporter goes, "What does it feel to lose gold?" And he goes, "I didn't lose gold. I won silver." And I was like, "Great story." What song would you least like to pop up during workout?
Call Me Maybe.
Okay. All right.
Done with it. Yes.
Done with it.
Or Party in the USA. One of those two.
Okay. Carly Rae Jepsen. Is that her name?
Carly Rae and Miley Cyrus. Yeah.
Miley Cyrus. You could do without those two.
Or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Would you rather swim in the deep end or shallow end?
Deep.
I know. So some people like shallow. So
yeah. No, what I love about water and the pool is just the freedom of it, and being able to, you can't do all, you can't dive down and dive around in shallow water. That's deep for sure.
Yeah. And I know you're swimming yourself now, gotten back in the pool, right?
I wouldn't call it swimming, but I'm in the pool. I commit to an hour, 3 days a week of moving a large object through the water back and forth.
You're a little hard on yourself, Chad, but that's okay. Yeah. If you go back to your college or high school self, what would be your perfect I am order?
Breaststroke first, get it over with.
Yeah, that's what I said too, right? Master that pull out and just take as few strokes as possible, right?
Stupid stroke, get it over with. And then I got to go fly next.
Okay.
Fly back, breast, fly back free.
Breast, fly back free. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I think that would be my order too. Although I might go backstroke second and put the fly third. I don't know. But
See, I'd be dead by then. So
kick or pull.
pull.
Yep.
No,
Paddle. Big old
good
paddle.
paddles.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Would you rather be in a pool that is too cold or too warm?
Too hot. Too hot. Too
Yeah.
cold. No, no, no.
Not for you.
I am. Yeah. This is a big, big, important question, Chris.
Yeah.
This is big, and yes, too warm. Easy. I've said my piece.
All right. Lane leader or caboose?
Well, the coach in me.
Your athletes are listening, Chad.
I know. No, I was fortunate that I loved to lead a lane. It was something I took pride in. Yeah, I was never a lane, a caboose. Yeah, I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
And in a kick set, how many strokes are you allowed per 25?
One
That's right.
One stroke into the wall.
Not 5.
Not 5. The wall doesn't come at the flags.
That's right.
I hope all the Quest athletes are listening now, because this is a big deal. Yeah. And even on your back, one stroke, but make it a fast stroke. Yeah. Don't be a cheater.
Don't be a cheater. Yeah.
Easy.
All right, Chad. The floor is yours. What? Tell us about your blog. Where can people find it? If you want people on your Instagram or Twitter, let them know.
Yeah. The blog just came out March 16th, and it's Streamlined Teams. Shout out to Ashley Graves. She's the brain behind that blog. But some really great articles from a lot of different club and college coaches on there. I'm on Twitter, Chad Onken. Instagram, Chad Onken, Onken. And look forward to always seeing you on the pool deck, Chris. I love you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. And all the best to Carmel and everyone in Indiana.
All right. Thank you, Chad. Thanks for being on today.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right.